Hi, this is a video about enterprise IoT connectivity. It provides you with a 7-point buyer checklist. Choose the wrong provider and you find out 2 years and 10,000 devices in, when switching means reprovisioning every SIM in the field. This video gives you the checklist to get it right the first time. A flat rate plan for battery sensors and a security-first setup for connected medical devices are not the same purchase. The right choice depends on coverage, security needs, your data profile, and how much control you hold over the network. The checklist forces the decision back to your requirements, not the vendor's marketing. Here is the map. 7 criteria, each with a pass signal and a fail signal, so you leave with a scorecard rather than opinions. Security architecture, regulatory alignment, global resilience, data pooling, real-time visibility, lifecycle flexibility, and network ownership. Every open port is an entry point, and IoT devices cannot defend themselves. Ask how a provider keeps traffic off the public internet. Private networking is the baseline. The stronger model is zero trust, where the device reaches out and nothing reaches in. No open ports, no VPN client on the device. Regulation is moving, and IoT sits inside its scope. Ask where your data is routed and stored, whether traffic is segmented, and whether events are logged for audit. A provider with no answer here removes itself from regulated shortlists. Look for connectivity aligned with NIS2 and GDPR. For cross-border and mobile assets, coverage is not a single number. Ask how many networks a SIM reaches in each country, whether it selects the strongest signal on its own, and what happens when the primary network fails. Multi-network access and automatic failover keep field devices online. Per SIM plans strand data on quiet devices, while busy ones hit caps. A shared pool lets the fleet balance itself and keeps the monthly cost predictable. Ask whether you add or remove SIMs without renegotiating the contract. Ask whether you see connectivity, location, and data usage as it happens, and whether you act on a single SIM without a support ticket. The depth and speed of that visibility trace back to whether the provider owns its core network or resells someone else's. Devices in the field outlive plans and networks. Ask about form factors, including eSIM as an MFF2 chip for harsh environments, and EUICC for remote profile switching. Keep the two terms distinct. eSIM is the form factor. EUICC is the remote provisioning capability. Ask whether you pause and unpause without penalty. A reseller passes your problem down the chain. A provider running its own core network controls routing, policy, and diagnostics and fixes issues directly. Ask who actually operates the network your devices sit on. Vast disqualifiers. If security is an upsell rather than the default, that tells you where it sits in the architecture. If there is no compliance answer, the provider is not built for regulated work. Single network coverage dressed as global and per SIM overage penalties both belong on this list. Turn the checklist into a decision. Score each provider from 0 to 2 on all 7 criteria, then weight by your own risk profile. A logistics tracker and a hospital device do not carry the same weights. Here is the checklist again, clean and slow. Security architecture, regulatory alignment, global resilience, data pooling, real-time visibility, lifecycle flexibility, and support with network ownership. Screenshot this slide. One example of a provider built around these criteria. IXT runs its own IoT core network, pools data across borders, and treats zero-trust security as the standard rather than an add-on. Use the checklist to test IXT and every other provider the same way. Connected, secure, everywhere. IXT.